did you see the shocking leaked DM from Conor McGregor that has the MMA world in an uproar? Ilia Topuria just dethroned Islam Makachev as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, and fans are furious. Plus, Joe Rogan is ready to break his holy rule just for Topuria. Stay tuned as we dive into the chaos. 9 years ago, a teenage Ilia Topuria shot an Instagram DM to double champ Conor McGregor. Congrats, one day I'll become you. On June 28, 2025, Topuria did more than keep that promise. He detonated the UFC order of things, blasting Charles Oliveira cold in 72 seconds to seize a second belt, and within 48 hours, the pound-for-pound throne itself. Now the king he dethroned, Islam Makachev, is bolting up a weight class. Conor's screenshot hit social media like a flashbang. Topuria, then an unknown regional prospect, congratulates the Irishman on his double champ moment and vows to follow suit. McGregor's response? A curt but telling, "Fair play, son." Fans were stunned. Proof that Ilia's current reality was scripted in his own words nearly a decade earlier. The post racked up millions of impressions inside hours, immediately recasting Topuria's rise as the fulfillment of a long gestating prophecy rather than a sudden fluke. With the DM authenticated by multiple outlets, even skeptics couldn't deny the goosebump timing. McGregor had never been crowned pound-for-pound #1, yet Topuria eclipsed him on that metric in fewer UFC appearances. Destiny, deja vu, or just relentless grind? The debate had only begun. July 1st rankings update, Topuria catapulted to ESPN's men's pound-for-pound #1, snapping Makhachev's 602-day stranglehold on the slot. Panelist Brett Okamoto summed it up. Makhachev didn't fall. Topuria just outran him. Numbers back the narrative. Topuria's UFC 317 presser cracked 500,000 YouTube views before sunrise, while Islam's UFC 311 equivalent sets under half that mark months later. Instagram told the same tale. Topuria's follower count slid past 10.5 million, nudging Islam's 10.4 million. Accusations of bot followers popped up, but no proof surfaced. A hype bubble? Maybe. Yet the voters are human, and hype is persuasive. 2 titles, 3 consecutive KOs over elite names, and a fresh highlight on loop. Hard to ignore. Still, a coronation never ends the argument. It merely opens the floodgates for outrage. Social feeds erupted, some cried disrespect. First, they put washed-up John Jones over Islam, now a new puppet. One comment seethed. Others applauded the shakeup. Run to another division, lose the crown. Simple. Ali Abdelaziz, Islam's manager, fired back that his client beat Volkanovski in his prime and choked Charles off a 12-fight streak. Therefore, the real P4P king. Analysts like Chael Sonnen, meanwhile, went bigger. On ESPN's Good Guy, Bad Guy, Sonnen declared the UFC botched history by not putting Max Holloway's BMF strap on the line at UFC 308, insisting Topuria should already be a triple champ.
Mistake was made to put Ilia in there with the reigning BMF champion and not to put up the belt. That son of a should have 3 belts right now. And we're having a totally different talk if he does. The marketing and the posters are totally different if we had that, but we got to follow it to the T, and the belt's either up or it's not. And I only share that as, yeah, this is absolutely unbelievable. He didn't just beat up 3 killers. I mean, but the way the story gets told about Max, everybody likes Max and respects Max, and we know how great he was. There's more to it. He was the reigning BMF champion. Ilia Topuria should have had 2 over his shoulder and 1 around the waist, and I really do think that that was an error. I'm glad that error is not going to be made the next time Max fight. I'm glad they're making him put the belt up. If you got the belt, it's got to be on the line.
Debate fodder aside, one fact stood: a new #1 always galvanizes challengers, and the ex-king wasn't content to wait.
Всем шалом алейкум. Сегодня так, короче. Газ, газ.
Days after losing the top spot, Makhachev confirmed he'll meet welterweight champ Jack Della Maddalena, targeting October or November to become a rare 2-division ruler. It's a risk-reward gambit. Win, and he leaps back over Topuria with history-making clout. Lose, and he's beltless, queued up at lightweight behind destroyers he once lorded over. Cue Joe Rogan. The veteran commentator hasn't called a UFC event outside US soil since 2016, but told TNT Sports he ditched that rule for a Topuria Makhachev super fight in Madrid's 80,000-seat Bernabeu Stadium. I might have to go to Spain. Come on. When Rogan's ready to stamp a passport, you know UFC brass smells record gates. Stat for stat, the echoes are uncanny. Both men captured dual UFC titles at age 28, but Topuria did it in 9 appearances to McGregor's 10. Where McGregor changed combat sports with timing and left-hand precision, Topuria adds heavy wrestling pedigree and welterweight power at 155. Fighters from Dustin Poirier to Chael Sonnen have noted the hammer fist parallels. Topuria's finish of Oliveira looked eerily like McGregor's blitz on Aldo, yet charisma matters. Conor's mic work remains the platinum standard, and Topuria admits he'd rather let the knockouts do the talking. Whether that limits mainstream crossover or cultivates mystique is TBD, but the resume grows. And 3 belts? Sonnen says the UFC robbed him of the chance, but future BMF showdowns could correct that. Arman Tsarukyan, the wrestling savant who once derailed Charles Oliveira, scoffed that Topuria would be easier than Do Bronx. I'll take him down 1,000 times. He won't even threaten a choke, he told Daniel Cormier. Paddy Pimblett, ever the agitator, insists Topuria's rise piggybacked on their 2022 hotel brawl. He was a nobody till he beefed with me, the Liverpudlian repeated this week, angling for a stadium payday. Add veteran analysts like Sonnen accusing the UFC of BMF belt malpractice, and you have a feeding frenzy. Dana White has poured cold water on a Pimblett title shot, but optics shift fast when 10 million plus followers flood comment sections. Recently retired GOAT Demetrius Johnson calls Topuria a unicorn. On the Mighty Guru podcast, DJ predicted Ilia fights 3, maybe 4 more times, 5 max, then disappears undefeated like Khabib.
See, I feel like Ilia is going to be a guy who fights 3 or 4 more times and retire.
Topuria has hinted at retiring by age 30 to walk off unblemished. If true, the window for super fights and trilogy-level legacies just slammed to 2 years. That possibility spurs urgency. Islam must decide whether to chase double gold or reclaim lightweight. Tsarukyan has every incentive to talk his way into a title eliminator. Paddy's crossover star power might finally outweigh rankings logic, and UFC brass may race to book a Spain megacard before the unicorn bolts. A 9-year-old DM lit the fuse. A first-round knockout ignited the powder keg, and today the UFC finds itself redrawing its championship map. Topuria sits on 2 belts and the pound-for-pound crown, yet every challenger, commentator, and executive senses the clock ticking on a once-in-a-generation run. So where do you land? Is Ilia Topuria the sport's next untouchable legend, or merely the catalyst for Islam Makachev's greatest comeback? Drop your verdict below, subscribe so you don't miss the next twist, and stay tuned, because if Rogan really does pack his headset for Madrid, the DM prophecy might be only Act 1. That wraps today's Fight Bulletin. Strike Script bringing you the fastest hands in MMA news. If these headlines kept you ahead of the scorecards, tap like and let the algorithm know we won the round. Subscribe and hit the breaking bell so you're first to hear every contract signing, weigh-in drama, and surprise call-out. Got an inside scoop or bold prediction? Drop it in the comments. You might see your tip featured in tomorrow's update for real-time flashes from pressers and gyms. Until the next alert, stay sharp, stay informed, and keep your guard up. This is Strike Script signing off.